Hey, Bedros Keuilian here, and I'm a fitness marketing expert, which pretty much means I help personal trainers grow their business, get more clients, and win your freedom. Now, it's a funny name, fitness marketing expert, and it's the name I gave myself, but quite frankly, I'm just like you. I started off as a personal trainer, and my only goal was to help as many people as I could change their lives. Because I used to be a fat kid, and there was nothing better than the feeling of losing 30 pounds and having people pay attention to me all of a sudden. Specifically the opposite sex, in high school. And so, of course, I went on to become a personal trainer, opened up multiple personal training studios, and ultimately did what few people are able to do in our industry, which is to then grow the business and sell it for a massive profit. And so I'm very fortunate and blessed that I was able to do that. And of course, today I coach and consult and mentor other fitness professionals who want to grow their business. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is really starting a fitness boot camp, because at one point, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, the idea of fitness boot camps were trends. When you think about it, it was just a trend that's going to pass. People are going to do one-on-one training. But as it turns out, it's not a trend. It's here to stay. And if you watch my annual trends and predictions video each year, then you know that each and every year, less and less fitness professionals are doing one-on-one personal training, and more are switching over to boot camps and group personal training. The reason for that is, well, there's several reasons. The reason number one is that it's easier to sell a lower cost product, right? So instead of a $800 a month product or $600 a month product, it's easier to sell a program that's $200, $250 a month, or even $150 a month. Number two, you have the ability to leverage. So you're no longer trading time for dollars like you're doing one-on-one training. You have the ability to leverage your time by training people in a group within one session time, right? Which is pretty amazing. Number three, because the price point is lower for personal training or group training programs, boot camps of course, then you can target more people in your community. And in fact, more people in your community can afford boot camps. And finally, as it turns out, the science of boot camps, when done right, prove that people actually can burn more fat in a group training or boot camp setting. And in fact, in the description box down below, I've put a link to a video that I really like, which is Alan Cosgrove. And if you know anything about Alan Cosgrove, he's a tremendous authority in our fitness industry, where he shares the value of and the science of group training and boot camps, and how they truly give the client faster, greater results effectively for a lower price point. So now let's talk about how you can start a fitness boot camp, because that's the question that I get asked most these days. Now, thing number one is, there used to be a time where you could go to your local park and run a fitness boot camp there. Now, I got to tell you, you don't want to do that today. There's many reasons for it. One, your clients expect a lot more. When you're out in the park, you don't have the right equipment, you're using a park bench, it's cold outside, it's hot outside, it's dark. Might have rained. Maybe there's a sprinkler or tree root, or maybe even dog poop they're going to have to dodge around. Listen, how does that help you set your value high when you're having to train people outside in a park or a parking lot, right? Or even in a gymnasium somewhere, like a local school. It's not going to help you, right? There's a book called Turning Pro, and in the book he talks about, obviously, your value perception is highest when you are a professional. People are willing to pay you the most when they perceive you as a professional. And quite frankly, what we've learned in our industry is, if you're running boot camps outside, if you're running boot camps in parks and parking lots, etc., and you don't have the right equipment, you are perceived as an amateur. I hate to say it that way, because I ran boot camps outside as well at one point, until I figured out the model and moved it indoors and made it truly bigger and profitable. But the thing I want to share with you is, number one, stay out of the parks. If all those things I mentioned weren't bad enough, think about the city that you're in. Today, especially here in Southern California, and we're finding this more and more across the country, cities are starting to kick out personal trainers who are running a for-profit business in their parks. And that's the last thing you want, is for the city to come in and say, hey, you're going to have to move and leave and take off, and you can't run a business in our park. Again, that's not what a professional does. That's an amateur thing, right? So one, you're not going to train in a park. Number two, you're not going to try and compete with your local big box gym and what they're charging. I've seen way too many boot camps trying to charge $49, $69, $79 a month. That is not what you want to charge. You are not just giving people access to equipment like a big box gym would. What you're selling is the end result, the outcome, right? Think about that. And so if you're selling an outcome and they're selling access to equipment, It just makes sense that they would charge less because it's up to the gym member to get the results they want. But when a client is working with you in a boot camp setting, then it's up to you to deliver the results that they're after, right? You're gonna take measurements. Gym doesn't do that. You're gonna do fitness evaluations. Gym doesn't do that. You're probably gonna offer nutrition consultation. Gym doesn't do that. You're probably gonna follow up and check up on them if they miss a workout session or two, right? The gym doesn't do that. So that justifies why you should charge more for your programs. So consider charging north of $150 per month when you're running a boot camp. Now, you may start off charging $97 a month for your first 20 clients just to get a base of clients in. And of course, then ratchet it up to $20, $40 more per month for the next 20 clients and keep ratcheting until you hit that glass ceiling. But you don't want to start competing with the big box gyms because that's not who you are and what you do. So now that we know what you shouldn't do, let's talk about what you're going to do when you're starting a fitness boot camp. Number one, there's nothing wrong with being in an industrial or a light industrial building. Now, if you can get a storefront that's, gosh, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, fantastic. But if you can get that storefront for the price of an industrial building or a light industrial building, then you're good to go. Otherwise, don't get the storefront for the sake of visibility of traffic, right? That's not how our business operates. We're not an impulse purchase. No one's gonna stop in and do a boot camp session like they would stop in to buy a Starbucks coffee or a Subway sandwich. And so you are gonna get found through your marketing and advertising and through your social media contacts, right? So if you're around the corner, behind the bend, it's okay to be in a light industrial space because rent will be cheaper. And that square footage you're looking for is about 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. Now, my personal boot camp location is 3,200 square feet. But again, I know what I'm capable of filling up, and I went with that. But I would highly recommend you start small and build out as you go. Thing number two is your marketing. Don't do traditional marketing. In other words, there's nothing wrong with buying addresses and sending out postcards. I'm a big fan of that. However, that's going to cost you money right now. It's probably going to cost you money that you don't have. Instead, go where the low-hanging fruit is, which is probably on Facebook. Right now, Facebook and all social media, well, when we say social media, don't we really mean Facebook? It's Facebook, Twitter, and then everything else, right? But it's not like you're gonna find a client on Stumbled Upon or something. So I'm not even gonna say social media anymore. I'm gonna say Facebook. You're gonna go to Facebook and that's where you're gonna get your clients from. The number one thing you're gonna do is set up a fan page. The number two thing you're going to do is get as many people in your community to like your fan page and to become active on your fan page. So you're gonna start posting 2 to 4 times a day, positive reinforcement, some amazing before and after pictures of clients that you've had in the past, as long as you have their permission, obviously. Because as you build your fan page, it's gonna start ranking, especially if it's facebook.com/your city name fitness bootcamp, right? It's gonna actually start ranking for that keyword. So I wouldn't make the URL your actual brand if it's, Bob's Fitness Physique, right? No one's searching for Bob's Fitness Physique, but they are searching for Arlington Fitness Bootcamp, right? Or Manhattan Fitness Bootcamp. And that's how you're gonna get found on the search engines. Now, thing number two is, back to Facebook again, guess what? You can buy demographics. And for very cheap, you can target an ad of people in your community, let's say in our case, as a boot camp, females between the ages of 32 and 65 within this particular zip code, so that you can actually take those leads and drive them to a page where they can opt in for an ebook or a free report in exchange for their email address. So now you've captured a lead, and it's just a matter of time as you contact them with great content, good information, and position yourself as the expert, and you're gonna convert them into a paying client. That's really the low-hanging fruit. Now, if there's a third thing you can do, that third thing is called the human billboard method. And the fastest, easiest way to get people into your boot camp is to get them in there for dirt cheap, right? But you wanna get people who are influential in your community. So I want you to think about the top 50 people in your community, people who work in the bank, maybe at the local Starbucks, like the manager of the Starbucks, Chamber of Commerce, top 50 people, right? Teachers at the local schools, principal, and the people who are most influential in your community are the ones who are gonna become human billboards, and they're gonna refer you to their friends, family, coworkers, to the people in their community in exchange for boot camp at a discount, $50 a month, right? So those are the only people that are allowed to pay $50 a month. Now the trick to getting human billboards is you have to get at least 20 people because when you get 20 people on board at $50 a month, really about 5 to 6 of them are gonna be your best human billboards and refer people. The rest, they're gonna work out for a little bit. They're not gonna start referring people to you, and they're gonna fizzle off and go away. And that's okay, because it's that 5 or 6 people who are your champions who are gonna talk about you and get you 2, 3, 4 referrals a month. And it's up to you, obviously, to convert and close them and make them long-term clients. So that's really the model of what fitness boot camps is about. And it's no longer about being that military-style boot camp where you're yelling, you're wearing camouflage, and you're wearing like these boots, and you're looking like a tough guy. You know, forget that. This is group training, and it's done in a fun atmosphere where people feel that your boot camp is their second home, and they want to keep coming back, not only for the workouts, not only for the enthusiasm that you have, but because they've made friends, camaraderie, right? So if you have any more questions for me, I want you to click the link down below and go to my blog, leave a question there, and be sure to watch the video that I've got for you in the description box down below, where you can learn more about boot camps and how awesome and amazing they are. I'll see you later.